Hi, my name is Mandara Numriyandini. My student ID is 22240900071. Right now, I'm going to explain you about social media. The first is the unreal world. Dr. Ali Jazayeri, Associate Professor of Clinical Psychology at the Chicago School of Professional Psychology's Los Angeles campus, believed there are clear and present dangers that must be addressed. I definitely believe that social media has had a significant impact on our lives. The world we see on Facebook and other social media platforms is not the real world. It's a human creation. Jazayeri explains. Among the other dangers that Facebook may pose in our lives, such as a lack of privacy, is the habit of constantly comparing ourselves to others. When people are happy, they tend to post a lot of happy things. When I am unhappy, however, I will consciously or unconsciously compare myself to others. As a result, I create a world that isn't real because I imagine that everyone in the world is happy except for me. What concerns Jazayeri most from a psychologist's perspective is the danger of slipping too far into a virtual world and losing a sense of real life, real self, and real priorities. Some people use this social media to create something that they are not, he says, explaining that the virtual world can distract people so much from their real lives that they either forget who they are or become so involved in the reality they've created that they don't want to work on their own issues. Instead of me trying to deal with things I don't like about myself, I will go online and present myself in a way I'd like to be seen, without any changes to me. It's dangerous and very deceptive. If you look at the history of psychology, we've spent the last 100 years trying to help people know themselves better, deal with their shortcomings, deal with things that they don't want to have. So we have a very reality-oriented atmosphere in our Western psychology. Jazayeri worries that an over-reliance on this virtual world that we create online is undermining all the progress human beings have made in addressing real-life problems. Second, consciousness collected. Dr. Eliezer Eusebio, an assistant professor in the Department of School Psychology at TCSBP's Chicago campus, said, "Something I like to talk about a lot in psychotherapy are the various dimensions of consciousness," he says. It can get really psychoanalytical if you're going to look at what kind of behavior people are putting out there. I have been studying Jungian analysis and I do find it interesting, especially when you look at the personality types. Whether your inner nature tends toward paranoia, narcissism, manic, depressive, or even melodramatic behaviors, Eusebio says that these things unconsciously manifest themselves, rather publicly in an online setting. As any Facebook user knows, there are types among almost everyone's collection of friends. Some use the site solely to promote their business or career. Others take the opportunity to share political opinions, while others post several status updates per day about events as banal as what they had for breakfast or what's on the dinner table. Some are a series of check-ins at restaurants, clubs, museums, and airports. There are breakers and complainers, cheerleaders, and naysayers. Online group tends to triangulate people. This environment will provide you the pool to display any kind of psychopathology. Eusebio adds, cyberspace alone is a psychological extension of our intrapsychic world. We all have various dimensions of our unconscious, and with social media, you can really dive into people's lives. The danger is we throw our reputation out there, and we put avatars attached to who we are. The third, the professional favor. Professional, you say that you want to brand yourself, but you can sometimes get so lost in branding yourself the way you want to be perceived that what you present online isn't who you really are. When potential employers meet you in person, they want you to be consistent, questions Fowler, who now works at Deloitte Consulting and sometimes uses his social media background to help clients leverage their brands. It's one thing to post your prettiest vacation photos on Facebook or to exaggerate how wonderful your life is, but when it comes to LinkedIn and other professional use of social media, truth and ethics are just as important online as they are on your printed resume. That said, Fowler says he still believes in the professional power of social networking sites like LinkedIn and more recently, Facebook pages being utilized by business and organizations. Social media has its advantage and disadvantage. It's a tool, and like any tool, you can use it the wrong way. There are great things that come out of it. Just recently, it was instrumental in raising money for people who were affected by Hurricane Sandy, and I think it's going to evolve. The social aspect of these platforms is going to live on. What remains to be seen is how this will affect the way we conduct businesses. The next one is love in the time of social media. In all of incarnation and manifestation of social media in our lives, one aspect that can be ignored, particularly when it comes to how we present ourselves and perceive others, is how the always on, must be perfect virtual world has changed our most intimate relationship. Whether you're a single 20 something looking for a Mr. or Mrs. Right, or a newly divorced parent dipping your toes back into the dating scene, online sites such as Match.com, OkCupid.com, and eHarmony.com have revolutionized the idea of we meet and connect with new people. The fairy tale endings are legendary, as are the tales of love, loss, and heartbreak. But what is often overlooked is how the surreal world of social media affects people who are already in domestic partnership, marriage, and other long-term partnerships. The next is to disconnect or not disconnect. That disconnect that Bacon refers to is at the very heart of what Truckle is chronicling in Together Alone. As we instant message, email, text, and Twitter, technology redraws the boundaries between intimacy and solitude, she writes. We talk of getting rid of our emails, as though these notes are so much exist package. Teenagers avoid making telephone calls, fearful that they reveal too much. They would rather text than talk. Adults too choose keyboards over the human voice. The irony of it all is that we can see it happening to our kids, our friends, even ourselves. We know it's a problem, but we don't know how to stop it. As Jazayeri points out, social media is here to stay and is a new reality we must deal with. The question is, how do we find balance? I definitely do not want to discard the benefits of all this connectivity, but there has to be a limit to it, he continues. I hope people can begin to recognize that Facebook and social media cannot be a substitute for everything in their life. Instead of me sitting and reading other people's posts on Facebook for 2 hours, I can go do some community work. Maybe I need to ask myself, why do I why do I always have to be busy with someone who is not real? So that's all from me. Thank you.